Hello and welcome to the look ahead. We've got our regulars. Whether or not it's like a bad smell, we'll let you decide there. But we've got Mark and Michael, the regulars, the faces of the look ahead, and obviously we've got our visitor in Jack, who's decided to pop in and just see what the look ahead's all about. So, how are you guys?
All right, mate. All right. All good.
Good. People may realise or know in terms of what the sounded in my voice is going a little bit. I think this is the after effects of a very probably heavy weekend last weekend, where there was a lot of chanting, a lot of shouting, and a lot of fun. That were despite the result, it was still fun. Obviously, the first thing that we're looking at was the cup challenges. So obviously, it is looking back, obviously to last Sunday and the game against Manchester United. It's always sad that we'll lose a game, but in the form that we were coming up against Manchester United, obviously the players that they have, when you look at the players that they were able to bring on and that we can't, yes, it's annoying, but is it a case of the fact that we've got to a final, so this is the starting point. Is there going to be many more? So is it something that we're going to see with this club, that we are going to be going up, as Amanda says, we're going to win the Carabao Cup, we're going to win the FA Cup, we're going to win the Premier League, we're going to win the Champions League. She hasn't put a time limit on it, but she has said that. Are you confident that we're not going to be waiting another 20 plus years for another visit to Wembley? We'll go with Michael because you're probably the eldest on here, so you can probably remember the trips. You can probably remember the 1955 trip, to be fair.
No, I wish I could. I'm still getting over the 99 one, never mind the one on Sunday. No, I don't think we will. It's one thing saying that, and I respect you for saying that, but I think it could be a long time again, because there's just so much competition. We're not the only ones. Simple as that. The stars have got aligned. Everything was lined up for last week. We had a relatively easy. We had three home ties, didn't we? We had the away tie go our way where we played second. It all went our way. So I don't.
Well, not everything was lined up. We did get keeper sent off in the match before.
Well, true, yeah. I mean, but in the end, I don't think Nick Pope could have done anything about even being on. But anyway, it's very good of her to say that. But doing it is another thing, and I just can't see it in the next 5 years. To be, if you want to put a time frame on it, no, simple as that.
See, I'm probably of the other mindset. I think it is probably something that you may see it might be the Carabao Cup again, because I think the Carabao Cup, in terms of what you would class as the traditional top six, may not necessarily be a focus. I don't think Chelsea would necessarily focus on that. I don't think Arsenal, Spurs, or Liverpool would. Man City may do, but they still make changes. So I just think, in terms of the Carabao Cup, it is a chance of getting there. The FA Cup, I do agree, is probably a little bit harder, because clubs do try and do what they need to do in that. But I don't know. I just think the way that the club's going, and the fact that the likelihood is there probably will be an overhaul. I just don't think. Like I said, it might be 4 or 5 years before we're there again. But I just don't think it's going to be the 20 odd years that it was from the last gap. I just think, it might not necessarily be next season or the season after, but I do think it will be fairly, close or recent in terms of the distance than what it was previously. And like I said, that's something that I hope we get the ability to do, because if that's what we're able to do I'm sure everyone was happy. Obviously, Westminster Council were happy because obviously the fans cleaned up. And that's what I loved so much about it. I was like, that just shows our class. It's like, we'll go there, we'll have a party, but then we'll clean up after ourselves. Because that's what we are. We're respectful.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Co-op and the Tesco right next to Trafalgar Square were absolutely buzzing there. They were like, "Yeah, come in, yeah, go on. Can we get more stock, please?"
Yeah.
Take it from any other store. Just get it here, will you? We're running out. But no, it was just class. And then obviously, I think Keith Downey said it. There was up to 100,000 Newcastle United fans going to be in London for the final, and only 33,000 of those had tickets. So it's, when you're looking at around 60 odd thousand Newcastle fans, more than what fills St James's Park, were in London, whether or not it was in organised events or pubs like yourself, Martin, Michael, and the rest of the guys. It just shows, and it's like, this is what it is. I think, and I'm going to say, I just hope we don't become like what Manchester United fans were, and their mindset was, it's just the Carabao Cup.
I don't think that's ever going to be possible, is it?
And I'm like, well, I'm not being.
I don't understand their mindset in a million years. I don't know how I would get into it because I really couldn't figure it out.
Well, that's the thing. They were leaving, and I'm like, the other thing which annoyed is the fact that the only chant that they seem to want to do is the Shiro one. I'm like,
yeah,
you'd have just won a cup. Why not sing about Ten Hag? Why not sing about Casemiro who scored a goal? Why not? Talk about Rashford who'd scored a goal. Talk about your current players, and that, because they're the ones that have won the cup for you.
Yeah. It's kicking somebody when they're already down, isn't it? Similar as that. I suppose that was their mentality.
Are we really bothered that Alan Shearer's out was down? No. Who cares? No, we've got new owners. Mike Ashley's gone. Sing what you want. Doesn't really bother us.
Yeah.
And then like when we're waiting for the tube and that, there was just like silence. I'm like, mate, you'd have won the cup, man. Yeah, honestly, I'd have been like, yeah. And the other thing which I absolutely loved as well is they were all waving the scarves that were given to them by the Glazers while singing, "We want the Glazers out."
Yeah,
their green and white scarves mysteriously disappeared for that game.
Yeah, it was weird. It wasn't.
Sorry, no, green and yellow rather.
Green and yellow, yeah.
Yeah, it was the club. Yeah. Well, it was the Manchester United paid for scarves and that. And this is the thing, though, and people say, "Oh, they give them the scarves because they wanted it to look good." When the TV cameras were panning, I'm sorry, but there was only one display which just stood out and looked amazing. The only thing which I will say, and it does annoy us a little bit, is with Club Wembley. I think that spoils it because you've got that split,
that
fans and that right in the middle, and it's just like,
yeah.
Still would have.
Am I right in thinking it goes all the way around the stadium and like separates the top and the bottom tier?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, level 1. Yeah. Then level whatever 2, let's say, which is Club Wembley, and then level 5. So it's sort of like it's like a ring. It's basically the burger between the two buns. If you get if that's sort of an analogy.
That's not conducive to creating a great atmosphere.
No, because there is that split, and then say, "Oh, everyone was standing in level 1, but no one was standing in level 5." I went, "I'm not being funny. Have you seen how steep it is? We're knackered, man."
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot made, hasn't there, of the whole atmosphere on Sunday. And if it was anything like our table in a pub, we just all a bag of bloody nerves. Similar as that, we all just sort of like looking at each other, going, "Oh."
It was good before. There was bits during the match, but the fact is, it was a cup final, and I think fans were nervous.
Yeah.
And I think that played a part in it but towards the end, like I said, just back up, 2-0, 90th minute, and everyone just up there with the flags chanting again, and in it, and that was like where I'm just going, I know fine well I'm part of the best fan base in the world, because I don't think there's many other fans when 2-0 down in the 90th minute would have stayed and done that. Most of them would have been like, "Read them off."
Yeah.
I mean, funny enough, the Man U fans were doing that. Yeah.
From the weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like, I actually stayed even beyond that. I wasn't really that bothered about watching Man U lift the Carabao Cup and everything, but I stayed and watched the lads get the medals and that. Amanda like hugging them all and that. That's what I love, because she's like, she feels really attached to them. But let's be proud of the fact that this team got to a cup final.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we didn't finish chances, but we weren't disgraced.
No.
For quite a bit of the game, we were probably sometimes the better side.
And definitely in the first half an hour. Definitely in the first half an hour.
I'd also say in the second half.
I don't. I feel like in the second half, Man U were 2-0 up. Were 2-0 up.
Yeah,
They
no.
were happy to let us have the ball, and we didn't really create an awful lot, to be honest, in the second half. So
No, but
we had more the ball, yeah, totally. But I feel like we weren't that good in the second half. It was the first half we were actually.
No, it is those things, but I just think it's one of those things that let this be the start. I think it's I think it was Craig Hope who says this feels like the end of phase 1, and we're now moving into phase 2.
Which is, I actually think this is the end of phase 2 in a weird way. I think the end of phase 1 was, first of all, staying up. That was a big part of it. And for me, the changeover actually happened, in my opinion, the Arsenal game last season, because, and the reason I say that is because I think Howe was playing a style of football that he didn't really want to do, but he was being flexible. And he got us to the point where we stayed up. And then when it came to the Arsenal game, that's when there was a switch in style of play and a switch in mindset. And from then on, up until probably a couple of weeks ago, I think we've obviously started playing a different style of football. And unfortunately, I think this team's probably gone as far as it can go with that. You're not really going to get too much more putting in, of being second to none. And unfortunately, the past couple of weeks, that's come to a bit of a conclusion. It feels like the end of phase 2 to me. This now, the team needs investment, which is a shame because we've obviously the transfer window is now closed until the summer. From a personal point of view,
one player that's going.
I hope things start.
Yeah, well, we know one player that's definitely going. That's Ryan Fraser, which Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
I think the surprising thing was Eddie Howe says, "I only want players in the squad who are committed to the club."
Yeah.
So that's sort of like goes okay, right? So Ryan Fraser has probably made it abundantly clear that he doesn't. Yeah, he's not bothered about Newcastle. So that he's done the right thing. He says, "Well, in that case, go and train with the under 20."
Yeah.
I don't want you near the squad. So he's basically removing that negativity aspect of it. But you are looking at the fact that it probably will be people moving along like Ryan Fraser, like
Matt
Ritchie,
Jamal Lewis.
All the ones we thought would go in the summer, really, because I mean, I keep saying
Jamal
I'm so
Lewis
surprised how many didn't go, but then again, obviously couldn't get the bodies in.
Jamal Lewis, you're probably looking at one that's probably going to go.
Manquillo
is probably another one. That'll probably end up going.
I think
Jacob Murphy.
Jacob Murphy.
No, Jacob. Yeah,
it's going to be really
interesting
summer
player.
Because I think with the cup final, I think this summer will tell you a lot, because this summer needs. The problem is, have we the ability to do that with FFP? And that's where we could struggle. We're going to find out, but we're in a situation where released and a lot more quality needs to come in. So I think that will tell you a lot in terms of, are we going to get to another cup final in the next few years? Because the only way we do it, for me, is with a lot of investment, unfortunately. I think Michael's right. We a lot of things fell our way for us to get to the final, and absolutely we put in performances as well, no doubt about it. But the competition to get to a final is bloody difficult. I don't think it'll be 24 years, but I think it could be more than 5. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing with what I mean, going back to what you're saying about, Amanda said, and this is and sort of encapsulates challenge in general for me, is like, she goes on about winning this and winning that, and which is fair enough, and she doesn't put a time frame on it, but it is a bit like revving the engine and then having the handbrake on, which is FFP, because we can't go bombing forward because we're just not there. So that's why I think it's going to take quite a while. I mean, we could get there next year if we have the same look. I mean, why not? Because we don't know what they're going to do in the summer, but that's the problem.
I think there's going to be quite a lot of commercial deals sat ready to go in the summer, and like I said, these are commercial deals that you can have, like the likes of official airline, like Saudi, the official airline, Aramco, our official energy sponsor, obviously Monster, our official energy drink sponsor. You've got so many things that you could do in terms of those commercial sort of deals. Obviously, I think the kit sponsor will probably be something that will be looked at. I think it wasn't that long after the cup final that there was an article that came out, given the rumoured spend that we could be doing in the summer of around 250 million. And you're sort of thinking, well,
was that
yeah,
not
that'll
just
do
based
it.
on the musings of one journalist, though? Like, it didn't seem to be any substance
Well,
to
no,
that. It just
I
seemed to be
just
like
think-
one journalist thought that.
Well, no, but the fact that also Yassir had spent the week, so he'd been to the Liverpool game, and then he spent quite a little bit of the week in Newcastle, going over all the things, reviewing things. So that looks more like the like, right, okay, let's have a look at this. Yeah, I think it's probably, look, we've done what we've done. We've done it quite slowly, but this is the point where we need to maybe pick it up a little bit and really invest in the squad, because this is what we need to do in that aspect. But you also look at it and just think there are players that are out of contract in the summer that could be look at the news today. Firmino's out of contract.
Yep.
In the summer.
He's leaving. He is leaving. So
Wilfried Zaha's out of contract in the summer. Marcus Thuram's out of contract in the summer. I'm trying to think who else. My mind's gone a little bit.
Haaland's not happy at City, apparently.
Well, we'll take him. It's fine.
Get him in. Sort it out. Go on.
And again, you're looking at that. I'm going to say, but people are talking about Kieran Tierney. Great. But his injury problem is just the one thing that's going me. But I'm like,
I rate Kieran Tierney so highly. I rate him so highly. You can't have another injury-prone player in the squad. We've got to.
Yeah.
And then we'd have the two KTs on as the fullbacks.
True.
So no, but I think that's where, and I've actually done it, and we'll go towards it with the Man City preview and that. But I think we do need a left back, because Dan Burn is not a left back. In that
he's
sense,
struggling at the moment, and he's been exposed a lot.
He looks really tired.
That thing with Anthony, that was embarrassing.
But that's all Anthony did, though, wasn't it? It was just like, look at this.
Oh yeah, Anthony did nothing apart from that.
Anthony just nutted him and just
But then Joe Linton came in.
There you go.
But then you look at the fact that what Black Mamba said is, we could sell players, and I actually think something like selling St. Maximin might be something that might go through the mindset, because
I think Maxi's gone in the summer. I'm calling it now. I think he's gone in the summer.
Yeah, just for the money.
You know what?
He's probably the most saleable asset, to be honest.
Yes,
well, I'll put it this way:
that's why I think he will go.
You're not going to sell Bruno. You're not going to sell Botman. These are players we want to. No, but these are players that we want to build the squad around.
Yeah, they are.
Maximan is a player who we could potentially build the team around, but it just doesn't. It's just not working at the moment. I think he's the most saleable asset. You probably get 45 million for him, maybe.
Yeah,
and that goes towards FFP and helps us build the squad. It'd be a shame, because I think he's an amazing player.
Will you imagine?
Day, but he doesn't have his days very often anymore, does he?
I also wouldn't put it past us going for Maddison.
I think Maddison's 100% the target. I don't think.
You then also look at.
I don't think Maddison's.
No, I think
Gordon, and we saw an opportunity to get Gordon, and we got Gordon, because at the end of the day, we don't really need a number 10 at the moment more than we need a number 6.
Well, I think we went for Gordon more so because he can play on the wings and also up front if needs be. I think because of the position that Leicester were in, I think that if we'd went for Maddison, they would have wanted big money. Come the summer, it's a different story, because he's only got 12 months left on his contract.
Yeah. I don't think we'll be on our own once in a move.
I agree. I just don't think that's a position we'll.
He can play on the right. Maddison plays on the right quite often.
Yeah, and also, I mean, he can play more like a 10 as well. So
he can play,
I mean, we need to change our style, don't we? Which is we don't need to, but
you imagine having Gordon, Isak, and Maddison as your front three.
Yeah,
and then bringing in Joe Linton, Bruno, and Tielemans as your midfield.
Yeah, Tielemans on a free. Yeah,
and then you
don't get me wrong. I would love. We will.
No, and then let's see a back line of Trippier, Shaw, Botman, and Tierney. And you're looking there straight away and going, great. Then you're looking going, okay, well, Dan Burns on the bench, not a bad one. Target bench, not a bad option. Wilson on the bench, not a bad option. Mickey on the bench, not a bad option. Sean Longstaff and Joe Willock on the bench, not bad option. So you're looking at and straight away, we've improved the starting 11, but we've also improved with squad depth and with bench.
Yeah.
So it's those sort of things you're looking at, and I'm like, let's not go crazy. Let's maybe go 4 or 5 really good name players, and let's go for it that way. And that because I'm like, do we need to replace Saint Maximin? Probably not. Isak can play out on the left if needs be, but then Gordon can. So you're looking at that. I think another striker coming in just because Wilson and Isak aren't exactly 100% fitness wise. So you think and bring in a striker, bring in a midfielder, a winger, and a left back. And obviously, if we let Lascelles go, another defender.
Yeah, it would have to be another young. I think a young centre back would be a good option.
Even if we do spend 250 million, we're still not going to be able to lay a hand on Man City, are we? In any competitive sort of way. I mean, in the league and in the cups and all that. I mean, I don't mean playing them like we are on Saturday. I just mean
I'll put it this way:
we've got such a long way to go as a club, like in and out.
I'll still say we're probably closer to Man City than I thought we would be this season.
Oh yeah, 100%.
In terms of the points aspect, that you're looking at and going, wow. So it is just that thing, but it is things that we need to look at. What we'll do is I'm going to link the change up front in with the Man City preview because it sort of it plays into each other. So what we'll do is we'll just look at that and we'll do. So this is what I was going to mention when I was doing with the preview and things like that. I think the side needs freshening up because I think it's become stale and predictable. And I think teams are working that out. I think Miggy needs to be dropped. I know I don't want to say that because I love Miggy, but I just think it's become predictable with them. So I would actually start Gordon in his place. I'd drop Wilson and put Isak in his place. I'd keep Maximin. But then what I would do is I would drop Burn and I'd put Target at left back. I actually think Target at left back might actually help Maxi. So do you know what? I think it's like one of those because Target's a natural left back. He knows what he's doing. Dan Burns, a centre back that's had to be trained into left back.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't. Yeah. The midfield, whatever formation they want to pick. Yeah. I think it'll be Longstaff, Bruno, and Joe Linton, just because I think you'll want that battling combativeness now, which I don't necessarily think Willock will give. But no, I just think that's something that needs to. Like I said, this is what I'd decided. So I don't necessarily think it's what Eddie Howe will do, but it's what I think needed to be done because I just think there needs to be that little bit of freshness in that, and let's try and go to Man City with pace.
Yeah, certainly worked in August.
Exactly, yeah. That's how we played in August. You know what I mean?
With no fear as well. I mean, it's different now. I mean, now it looks like the top four's not slipping away, but we're certainly going the wrong way. We've hit this skiddy patch, and whereas in August we were all just like, this is amazing.
It's a free game for us because
absolutely, yeah. I know it. That's why I wouldn't bother me if he played Bruno a bit further up front, up. Let the old handbrake off just a little bit with Bruno. So because we are on a hiding to nothing really tomorrow. I mean the stats point that out. Even if we won the cup final, the stats we've got a dreadful record there.
Yeah, our record against Man City is
dreadful.
The lost last 13 Premier League games at the Etihad, Newcastle.
Yeah.
So
I mean, who hasn't?
Would you lads play Wilson? Would you lads play Wilson or take him out for tomorrow?
I think it's time for Isak, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Wilson, since the World Cup, just hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
The same player who he was before he went to the World Cup. I think he was affected. He had a little injury in Qatar. He didn't play at all, really. I mean, how was that helpful for us? He was just sat on the bench, came on, a couple of times. He's clearly lost that match sharpness. And then
came back and got
went
COVID.
straight in. Yeah, he got COVID. So he needs to come out of the team. Isak's fully fit now. Let's get him in. He was good when he came on. I was going to say,
I actually thought he was our best player when he came on.
He was good when he came on last week in that in that 10 row because he was getting the ball. Because he's so good on the ball. I think you look at him and you think he's 6'4". You're like, oh, he's going to be really good in the air. He's actually terrible in the air, but he's really good with his feet. His feet are fantastic. So I really want to see Isak getting the ball, turning, running at Man City's defenders. Him and St. Maximin have seemed to have had a little bit of good link up in a few games as well. So I think it's Isak's time, to be honest. Yeah.
I also think with Gordon, you've got that. He's young.
Hopefully,
he's still got that fight. So he's still got the make you sort of work hard element in it. But I just think it's maybe you get that little bit more than Mickey's still a great player to be able to come off the bench.
Absolutely, he'll always give his best. It's funny what you're saying and what Jack just said then about Isak's heading. We've got to work on our corners, man. I mean, you just seem to we never look like we're going to get anything at all. Really.
Oh,
I mean, such big lads in it.
I mentioned Gordon and Mark's.
Mark's gone. He's back.
Yeah, he went in the huff. He went, if you're going to mention Gordon, I'm going.
But like I said, I mean, really.
No, I think I had a bit of a delay, so
that's all right. I'm just saying about corners. I mean, it's getting to the point. I mean, Bournemouth, we were, dreadful. Not even like, I mean, genuinely, do you lot know what you're doing? Is there any plan here? Trippier, we've really got to start.
It's weird. I think we've been unlucky with a lot of set pieces, like obviously Burns' header against Liverpool at the crossbar, against Manchester United with the post a few times, not in the Carabao Cup, obviously in the league game. But also, as you said, the Bournemouth game, that was just, it seemed like they just ran out of ideas. Like it was just like out swingers in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Hopefully someone makes contact. But then Botman against Palace should have scored free header from the corner.
They're few and far between, really.
But we have created the chances from the set pieces. Like the stats show it. They haven't been converted as often as they should have been. Some of our set pieces we've scored from this season have actually been short ones that worked. The one against Villa, for example, the one where Trippier and Alma are on.
Yeah.
Little back heel and then a little dink into the back post. So maybe we need to try some more sort of corner, training ground corner routines, really.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
I was actually going to say that was one of the things that I think I remember we did in the cup final. We did try that little routine and it probably unlucky in that aspect of it. But I do think do we maybe need to, like other clubs do, bring in a set piece coach to work on that. That's another reason why I am actually going to mention Maddison as well, because that brings up another option in terms of set pieces, because Maddison's fairly good with set pieces in that aspect of it. The other question, there's another option I've just thought with midfield. If Southampton go down, GWP.
Yeah. He's leaving. He's leaving in the summer, even if they're still up. I mean,
they'll bring him in.
But is he I rate him highly. I just don't know if he's actually a player who we would.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not sure he'd fit in our midfield to be honest.
It's not American football. We can just bring him on and then take him off again once he's taken the free kick. That would be ideal.
His free kicks are a joke. They're an absolute joke.
Oh yeah.
But apart from that, what else? When you watch a game with Ward-Prowse,
do you ever
feel like he dominates the game though?
But would he not do the Sean Longstaff rule, but a little bit
it's slightly better than Sean Longstaff in that position? Yeah.
No, I don't think he would.
He doesn't have the legs though. He doesn't have the legs really.
Yeah, he's never.
The problem with James Ward-Prowse, the problem with James Ward-Prowse is he's a central midfielder born to play in the 1990s.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, he was just born in the wrong era. He's totally born in the wrong era. I feel so sorry for the lad. He would have walked into a top class team and central midfield in the 90s, but in modern football right now, nah. He doesn't in enough areas to be able to play for a top side, and that's why no one's plucked him. Now, if you get him for free, all right, fine, that's another matter. But he's not exactly going to solve any of our problems. Like, we need to DM like something rotten.
Yeah.
I agree on that aspect. Let's go through it. Does Karius keep his spot, or is Pope back in tomorrow?
Not
I
a
think
chance.
Pope's coming back in.
There's more chance of me playing in goal.
But on Karius, he didn't disgrace himself at all.
No, of course not. No, absolutely.
He kept us
and-
at 2-0 for quite a few.
Yeah. And I would hope that we maybe offer him a contract and he can stay a second choice maybe in the summer. But
Yeah. Bye, Martin. Yeah.
Yes, I've got a feeling.
I think
that might happen.
Dubravka will leave in the summer. So,
Yeah.
Well, he's leaving
There's
them with a cup
bridges.
winners medal, so
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
yeah. Who lost a cup final but got a winners?
I know.
It'll be a quiz
unbelievable,
question in
isn't
years.
it?
to
That-
come.
that-
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, pub quiz question.
Right. Will the backline stay the same?
Do you know what? I don't think it will.
I think it will.
Mark thinks it will.
I think it'll be the same on the basis that Target hasn't been back in training that long, and I don't think that that Eddie will want to risk him. Plus, I think the way Eddie will look at it is, I don't really want to go and sort of change things. The best team in the league away from home. Personally, I would play Matt Target if he's fit, but I don't think Eddie will.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think Dan Burn looks really tired. So
Yeah.
Since
agreed, he does.
the Bournemouth game.
Yeah.
And which was
that was
awful.
a weird. He had a weird game. He had a really
Yeah.
weird game there. So
Midfield,
I
will
think
that
Target should come back in, but I do agree with Mark. I don't actually think Target will come back in, but he should.
Will the midfield stay the same?
well, that's a different thing, isn't it?
I
mean,
Yeah.
I think it
I
will,
think-
because I think Bruno will obviously have to play.
Yeah.
Joe Linton, I think you'll want in there for like the.
is he
aggressive-
not banned then, Joe Linton? Didn't he pick up?
No, he's
another yellow?
got 9 yellow cards.
He's got 9 yellow
Oh,
cards.
he's got 9. I thought he picked because all right.
9.
okay.
He's got 9 Premier League yellow cards. He did get booked last weekend, but it doesn't count.
Oh yeah, that weird thing about
Yeah.
red card but not yellow card.
And I think Longstaff will probably play just because he does like the little dirty things and the work which you want a midfielder to do, where that just goes under the radar. So I've got a feeling I think the midfield will probably stay the same.
Fair enough.
Not really that bothered about that too much.
Yeah. I believe that our midfield when we played Man City at home was Willock, Joe Linton, and Bruno. And I think it will go for the same midfield. Willock was brilliant in that game against City. Really carried us up the pitch really, really well. And he does give you the legs that Longstaff does. He does still track back. He does still tackle hard. So I actually think it'll be Willock, Joe Linton, and Bruno in the midfield.
And the front three.
So
will it be?
Well, easy one. Will Miggy keep his
Maxi
spot?
and
I think Miggy will keep his spot, which is a bit of alarming if that does happen. I think Gordon will come in for Maxi, and I think I really don't know who he'll play up front. I'm really hoping he plays Isak, because if he doesn't, if he plays Callum Wilson in this game, what message does that send to Alexander Isak? Like, you're the club's record signing, you can't get a game, even though our only other recognised striker is like bang out of form. I mean, I love Callum Wilson, but my God, I think people have been sugarcoating it. He was nothing short of abysmal in that Man United game. Like, never got a look in, had a touch like an elephant. Like, and I rate him to bounce back. I absolutely do. And there's mitigating factors. He's had COVID, etc. No one's denying that, but if you can't bring him out of the team to play your record signing, what does that say to your record signing?
Yeah, there's something just doesn't feel right about Callum, does it? I don't know, personal or what, but it just doesn't look right, does it, at the moment? So
no,
I wouldn't be surprised if we had a complete change, full stop, maybe even in formation, because we got, like Mark said, producer Mark said, we've got nothing to lose.
You can still go.
I mean, it's a free hit, isn't it? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you just went, you know what, I'm going to change this.
You could, well, he might go 5 at the back. Yeah, it's an option, but he might even do the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
and he might actually start Isak and Wilson. that there's an option. So that's something that you could look at.
Yeah.
We don't know. Eddie Howe always keeps guessing until the lineup's announced, which will be at 11:30 tomorrow. Let's round it up and let's go with the predictions. And we'll start with Jack as the visitor.
Yeah, no, so City, obviously still an absolutely unbelievable team. They aren't as good, I don't think, as they have been in recent seasons. Brentford beat them at the Etihad. They are beatable. If Haaland doesn't score, this is the weird thing. They're struggling to score goals. But of course, he's got 27 league goals this season. So, we're in March. So that is the thing. I believe this will be our third defeat in a row. I'm going to go 2-1 Man City. Don't think it won't be like last season. We'll get absolutely annihilated. It'll be close. We'll get a goal because they're not actually that good defensively. But then in the end, it's coming to the point of the season now where, they're 5 points behind Arsenal. This is what they do. City, they chase Premier League. They chase titles down. This is when they'll switch it on. This is when they'll kick into another gear. And we won't have a chance. We won't have a chance in this one, unfortunately.
And Mark?
I think 3-0 Man City, unfortunately. We're just bang out of form, and this does not strike me as the kind of game where you get yourself back into form. I dearly hope I'm wrong. Honestly, tomorrow I am still not over last weekend. I'm tempted to take a mental health day and not watch this game, to be honest, tomorrow. It's just...
So Mark's hiding behind the sofa tomorrow. And Michael?
Yeah,
it's going to have to be 3-0 or 4-0 tomorrow.
Oof.
Dreadful record.
He's not even keeping to his...
I'm not. There's no point now. Is a tradition and superstitions out the window. We're dreadful there. We're in a really crap vein of form. World-class players, world-class manager. It was always going to be a stretch no matter what. And yeah, tomorrow is going to be another dose of reality, I'm afraid. So it's going to be 3-0, 4-0, hopefully 3-0. I can't see us even getting a goal.
Well, on that, I think we'll leave you on that positive note.
Yes, sorry, folks.
And say thank you for
watching
coming and enjoy the weekend. Thank you.